Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the new and exciting news that we got for Hunter Rise Sunbreak that's set to release on both the Nintendo Switch and on PC on June 30th. And after the last Capcom presentation where Capcom decided to showcase brand new information for Hunter Rise Sunbreak, we ended up getting a ton of brand new details specifically regarding Lunagaron. And that's the fact that we pretty much got our hands on several brand new slides, concept art slides, pretty much showcasing us more details as to what this monster is really going to be about and what their ideas were when it comes to designing this massively interesting monster with two specific phases. And in this specific video, I want to do a very similar thing like I did with the Malzeno video that I put out recently a couple of weeks back, where I went over all the concept art that they've provided us with direct English translations for the stuff that's posted in Japanese. There's no official English version of those posts, so I kind of just had to do it manually. And yeah, let's just get started because there's a lot to go over. Here in the very first image, we actually get to see four little distinct faces, and we're going to start on the upper left side of the image, where in Japanese it actually reads, but translated to English it says, Lunagaron uses exhaustive cold air to incapacitate and surround his prey. And that is basically right next to him being able to surround and use that misty cloud, pretty much one of those like little creatures that have been showcased so far in the Citadel. This is one of those monsters that's going to be available kind of like wandering around in the area, just, you know, for you to be able to take prey off if you ever need to. But Lunagaron certainly feeds off of these monsters. In the next slide, that would be in the middle, we actually get to see that it says this mixes up its prey. It's basically confusing it even more as it completely surrounds the monster all around it. And then in the final lower side of the image, it actually reads, suddenly jumping after a quick stop. And you actually get to see Lunagaron kind of pouncing on that little creature, pretty much unbeknownst to it, as it's pretty much going to get eaten. Moving over to the right side of the image, on the upper side, it actually reads, there's always a target whenever you're underground. And that's pretty much as it's kind of like basically putting his big paw down onto the already felled prey. And in the middle lower area, it actually reads, in the end, there's always a cost. So pretty much it's saying that like whenever this guy's ready to eat and anything around it is kind of like not away from, you know, the floor or the ground, he's just going to be able to tackle it head on without any sort of issue. Moving over to the second concept art image that we got, on the top left, we actually get to see a paw or like a claw, and it just basically reads as dangerous. Then moving over a little bit to the center of the image, right where the like paw is kind of like digging into the water, it just says dig. And then right on the right side of that, it says sinking to the wet surface, meaning that it's pretty much like digging his claws into the ice. Even if it's icy, is not necessarily going to matter. And then on the right side of the image, as you see kind of like the paw lifting up from the ground, it says it's best for quick escape. Lastly, on the bottom side of the image, you get to see Lunagaron kind of again pouncing on another monster, attacking it, and this time it actually reads, even on water, it's extremely agile. So it doesn't necessarily really matter in what kind of surface Lunagaron is going to be attacking. It's pretty much going to be ready to go no matter what. And that's kind of like one of the key faces for this specific monster. Moving over to our third slide that we got here, pretty much of concept art. On the upper left side, you actually get to see his big kind of like jaw open, the head kind of like just being drawn there in the concept art. And the upper left side, it actually reads, a massive mouth that can carry just about anything due to its shape. And they're obviously referencing the fact that it's just kind of like a wolf. Wolves can just kind of pretty much carry anything as long as they can hold on to it. You know, they should be able to do just that. I think the more interesting one out of all of these is the translation that we got on the right side of the image, kind of pointing to the tail from the drawing that you can actually see on the bottom, the big long kind of like Lunagaron ready to pose on four legs. And the translation on the top center, it actually reads, due to the shark-shaped tail, it can create an overwhelming amount of speed. So it's interesting that they're actually showcasing the tail in this specific slide, and they even kind of do it like a little hand-drawn shark tail design, only because they're saying like basically because of his tail and his balance, is able to move faster than typically would be expected. There are no actual other posts regarding the paw right there. We did see that with Malzeno. They very specifically went into full detail when they were talking about Malzeno's concept art and showcasing like the claws were detachable and stuff like that. But when it comes to Lunagaron, it's more kind of like a typical wolf, so it's not going to be detaching his claws or anything along those lines. In the next slide, we actually do get to see a couple of more concept arts, this time of the head, and kind of like the parts that they consider important. Basically, the ones that are shown on red are the ears, which are pretty much something that hunters are keenly aware of. Monsters, to some degree, have some sort of reception to hearing in the game. And then, of course, the parts that are really going to hurt, these are, of course, as teeth, essentially the fangs, if you will. These are the things that you need to watch out for, because he's definitely going to hurt you unless he's enraged, and then he's just going to stand up and kind of claw you to hell. In the next image, we also just get a couple of 3-tiered underneath, like what he looks like underneath, essentially, from the concept arts. On top, that would be the one from the image on the middle, and then from the left side, I think, if I'm looking at it correctly, because it's kind of backwards, from the left side, facing to the left, but that's actually the left side, we get to see like the concept art as to like what he looks like. But again, these are like just ideas essentially, but we kind of know that in game it's very representative of what these slides and original concept arts were supposed to be. In the next image, we also get to see more of that, and we actually get a closer look of that tail and how it actually changes depending on the like kind of like situation that it's at. If it's just kind of standing still, it's gonna be kind of like flanned out, but if it's ready to run, it kind of turns into that shark tape tail that they referenced in the other image before. So there is something to that for sure. There is no concept arts as of right now for him being enraged. Pretty much when he's standing up, we don't have those as of right now. So maybe when Capcom decides to drop those, we're going to be able to go them over. But right now, it certainly seems like the tail is one of those big things you're going to need to take care of. Obviously, you're going to want to cut it if you get the opportunity. In the next image, we also get to see one that I think we went over once before when I originally put up a Lunagaron video, but I did not translate it. And in this one, you actually get to see him zigzagging around in the snow, and all it reads is, "Everyone runs like a star." That's pretty much what it's saying there. But we did see this concept art once before already. And I believe there might be one more image. This one, you actually get to see the underneath once again, this time without the legs. And then you get to see that left side again of the concept art for Lunagaron. So as of right now, these are all the concept arts that we have. Actually, some of the top ones that I translated, the ones that I started the video with, I should rather say, those were dropped right after the presentation. So Capcom has kind of started to finally provide us information for monsters that we kind of knew about since December. We knew about Lunagaron all the way back in December. So, you know, now they're finally starting to give us more of those details for these monsters. And hopefully they could keep them coming, because I always find interesting little details and quirks, especially trying to dig through the translations and finding interesting details for each one of these monsters. But that's about all the information that I wanted to go over. Hopefully you guys enjoy these type of videos. I know the Malzeno one was really interesting. I got a lot of feedback for that, because again, no one's making videos like this, so I thought, you know, it was interesting to do one for Lunagaron and any upcoming concept art that we get in the future. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.